Hi everyone, you're welcome to another math class. Today in our lesson we'll be looking at order of operation, also known as use of BODMAS. Order of operation or use of BODMAS. I don't know how familiar we are with BODMAS, but it's an acronym for different operations that need to be carried out in mathematics. Now, the reason it is called order of operation is to help us know, like, when we have maybe two or more of these operations occurring in a particular math problem, we need to know the order, the steps we need to go or follow in order to get the problem solved correctly. Now, there are different operations in math. You have something like addition, you have subtraction, multiplication, division, and all of that. So when you have more than two or so occurring together in a particular problem, you need to know how to go about solving them, which one you need to solve first and which needs to come next. That's why it is called order of operation, the way it should be done, the order in which it should be done. And the acronym that helps us to know the order is BODMAS. And what is BODMAS? Here we have written it out, okay, with what each letter stands for. So the B in BODMAS stands for bracket. The O is of or order. Okay, some call it of or this order. And what does that stand for? This is brackets, right? That is bracket. And this order or of is square, power of. The power of a number, like 2 raised to power 4, something like that. Okay? So, let's put that in a bracket. Then division, we have division, that's the sign or symbol for division. And then multiplication, that's the symbol for multiplication. Addition, we have that. And subtraction, we have that. Okay? So these are the different operations that we can have in math. B for bracket, of order, D for division, M for multiplication, A for addition, and S for subtraction. Now, why is there this BODMAS? It is telling us that if, for instance, we have a problem where all these operations occur or are present, we need to look out for bracket first of all. If there is brackets involved in the question, we solve the bracket. Whatever is inside that bracket, we make sure we solve it. We clear the bracket. And after that, we look out for anything like order or power of a number. If there is any number that is raised to the power of another number, we take care of that next. And after that, we look for division sign. If there is any division to be done, we do that next. And then multiplication, then addition, and lastly subtraction. Now I'm going to say something that is very, very important. Okay? Now we have seen this order. Division comes before multiplication. Addition comes before subtraction. Well, for the sake of having something that is orderly, this thing has been done like this. It's been written out this way. But note that when you are solving a problem and you have division and multiplication left, if these two are left, you will not say, okay, let me put it the other way. Multiplication, then division, you know? Normally we have division coming before multiplication here. Now, assuming you have solved the problem to this point, or even if these are the only two operations in the problem, you will not say, because division comes first before multiplication in BODMAS, you are going to come over here and do division. You walk from left to right. That's the arrow. So this is, you walk from left to your right. So whichever of the two signs occurs first, whether it's times or division, you do it first. Okay? So, and then the same thing applies to addition and subtraction. The same thing applies. If you have plus and minus, you have worked in a certain subject, you have solved a certain problem, and what you have left is plus and minus, just like we have multiplication and division there. What you do is you also work from left to right. So whichever of them occurs first, whichever of them is here in this first position towards the left, you solve it before you go to the next one. If it is subtraction that is here, solve it first before you go to the next one. So these are just the two major things I want to point out. In as much as we have division before multiplication, addition before subtraction, when you have solved your problems and you are left with addition and subtraction, just work from left to right, whichever one occurs first. And if it's multiplication and division, do the same thing, work from left to right. Okay, so let's take a couple of examples, maybe 2 examples, and then we see how this works. All right, so let's look at this example right here on the board. We have 5 squared plus, open bracket, 32 minus 20, close your bracket, divided by 3. So as we're doing this, please let's refer to the BODMAS rule. So first we clear the bracket. Now what do we have within the bracket? We have 32 minus 20, and that gives us, no need to write in the bracket, that gives us 12, right? So now what do we have? You have 5 squared plus 12 divided by 3, right? Now after bracket, what do we have? We have the of, which is the power of. Now the number we see that there that has that is this 5 squared. So next, this is what we're going to solve. And what does that mean? 5 squared simply means 5 multiplied by 5, and that gives us 25. Okay, so what do we have next? We have 25 plus 12 divided by 3. Okay, I hope we're getting this. Okay, so we have 25 times 5 is 25, plus, this is the plus here, 12 divided by 3. Now, following the rule of BODMAS, what do we have next? We have division. So, what do? We take care of the division problem first. So, we're going to pause here and do 12 divided by 3. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. So lastly, we take care of this part. We now have, let's see, 25 plus 4. Remember, 12 divided by 3, that gave us 4. So we put that there, and that gives us 29. Please, let's quickly go over this again. So we have 5 squared plus, open bracket, 32 minus 20, close bracket, divided by 3. So we, following the rule of BODMAS, bracket is taken care of first. So whatever is within the bracket, we take care of it. 32 minus 20 is 12. That's 32 minus 20. So we have taken care of the bracket. Now, after you do that, this bracket now is replaced by the answer we got, which is 12. So we removed the bracket and replaced it with the answer. So we now have 5 squared plus the 12 we got divided by 3. Now, following the rule of BODMAS, order comes next, and the number there is 5 squared. That's the order. So we do 5 squared here, and 5 squared means 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 gives us 25. So in place of 5 squared now, we will write 25 plus 12 divided by 3. Okay? Now after the of, you have the division. So we see the division sign here. So we take care of these numbers that are affected by the division. That is 12 divided by 3. And 12 divided by 3 gives us 4. So now in place of 12 divided by 3, we're going to put our 4, right? So that's why we now have 25 plus 4, which is the answer we got from 12 divided by 3. So 25 plus 4, that gives us 29. Okay? So yeah, let's take one more example. All right, so here's another example on the board. This is a very interesting one. It says 6 square, you open bracket, 6 square minus 6, close bracket, divided by 5 plus 8. So following our BODMAS rule, so the first number we have there is, the first operation we need to carry out is clear the bracket. Now, when we come within the bracket, we find two operations. We have off and we have subtraction. And we know that off comes before subtraction. So within this bracket, we have to follow the order of BODMAS again. So 6 square will give us 6 times 6, which is equal to 36, right? So inside this bracket, we now have 36 minus 6, close your bracket, divided by 5 plus 8. I hope we're following this. Okay, so now we can clear our bracket. 36 minus 6 is 30, divided by 5 plus 8. Okay, so next, what do we have? After bracket, we've taken care of our off already because it came within the bracket, so we had to clear that. The next one here, following the operations we have here, is the division problem. We need to solve that before the addition. So 30 divided by 5 is equal to 6. If you divide 30 by 5, you get 6. So next, what do we have? Instead of 30 divided by 5 now, we put our 6, which is the answer we got. So we have 6 plus 8, and that gives us 14. Okay? So I deliberately chose something like this within a bracket, having more than one operation, so you know how to go about it. Okay, there may be a bracket where you have even up to 3 operations. Okay, if you have a bracket with 3 operations within it, what you do is you follow the order of BODMAS even inside the bracket. So use that order to clear the bracket before you continue. And remember, when we have addition and subtraction left, we work from left to right, and we have division and multiplication left, we work from left to right. Okay, let's take this last example just to illustrate what I was trying to explain about having multiplication and division left in an operation. So here we have 4 squared times 3 divided by 8. So the first we're going to work with, we don't have brackets in this case, so we go to off. So that is 4 squared, and that gives us 4 times 4, which is 16. Now what do we have? We have 16 times 3 divided by 8. Now if you look at this problem, we have multiplication and division. So what do? We work from left to right. From left, you work to right. So we're not going to say because in BODMAS division comes before multiplication, we divide before we multiply. No, we're going to work from left to right. So in that case, we're going to have 16 times 3. And 16 times 3 is 48, right? So next, what we do is we say 48 divided by 8, and that gives us 6. Okay, let me just get this out. So that's how it works. I just brought out this example so we see what I'm trying to explain. That you won't say because you get you have a division before multiplication, you're going to come here and do this first. No, you work in this case from left to right. Now assuming what we had left is something like 16 plus 3 or 16 minus 3 plus 8, right? Because addition comes before subtraction. Now, assuming you have 16 minus 3 plus 8, you won't say because addition comes before subtraction, you're going to come to this end and do the addition. No. In that case, you're still going to work from left to right. So it works the same way for addition and subtraction, and the same exactly the way it works for multiplication and division. Okay? So I hope you've learned something today. This is where we're going to call it a day. We hope to see you again next week. Until then, stay safe and stay blessed.